What if I told you the WTA rankings just delivered a major shakeup right before the Australian Open? Coco Gauff is back where many believe she belongs. A former Olympic champion has crashed back into the top 10, and several rising stars are suddenly knocking on the sports elite door. This isn't just a rankings update. This could change the entire power balance of women's tennis in 2026. Welcome back to TennisIQ, where we break down tennis stories that actually matter. Let's dive straight in. Coco Gauff reclaims world no. 3. A statement. Not a surprise, Coco Gauff is officially back in the top 3 of the WTA rankings, and honestly, this move felt inevitable. After a mixed end to last season, some critics were quick to question whether Gauff had plateaued. But tennis has a funny way of silencing doubt quickly, and the 21-year-old American just reminded everyone why she's considered the future and present of the women's game. Her climb back to world number 3 was fueled largely by her performances at the United Cup, where she played a pivotal role in Team USA's run to the semifinals. While the Americans ultimately fell to Poland in a dramatic 2-1 tie, Gauff's individual contributions were massive. She showed grit, leadership, and maturity beyond her years, especially in high-pressure moments. Perhaps the most eye-catching moment of her United Cup campaign came when she defeated IGA's Swiatek in singles, a win that still sends shockwaves through the tennis world. Beating Swiatek is never just another win. It's a psychological statement. That victory alone reminded fans and analysts alike that when Gauff is confident and aggressive, she can challenge absolutely anyone. However, the United Cup heartbreak came in mixed doubles, where Team USA couldn't quite crack the Polish combination. Still, the overall takeaway was clear. Coco Gauff is trending upward at the perfect time. And now, with the Australian Open just around the corner, her return to the top 3 feels like a warning shot to the rest of the tour. Amanda Anisimova slips. But the story isn't negative while Gauff climbs. Amanda Anisimova takes a small step backward in the rankings, moving out of the top 3 this week. But context matters. Anisimova's drop doesn't reflect a collapse or crisis. Instead, it highlights just how brutal and competitive the WTA landscape has become. The American entered the Brisbane International hoping to build momentum early in the season. However, her run was cut short in the third round by Marta Kostuk, who delivered one of the standout performances of the week. The match ended 6-4, 6-3 in Kostuk's favor, a scoreline that suggests control rather than chaos. Despite the loss, Anisimova's overall trajectory remains strong. She has proven over the past year that she belongs among the elite, and her decision to rest instead of rushing into the Adelaide International may actually be the smartest move long-term. With the Australian Open looming, managing physical and mental freshness is everything. Anisimova hasn't fallen out of contention. She's simply recalibrating. Madison Keys drops. But eyes Melbourne redemption. Another notable American movement comes from Madison Keys, who slides out of the top 7, but still holds a strong world number 9 ranking. Keys' ranking shift comes after a tough loss to Aryna Sabalenka in the Brisbane International quarterfinals. The match, which ended 6-3, 6-4, showcased both Sabalenka's power and Keys' resilience, but also highlighted the fine margins at the top level. Despite the defeat, Keys isn't panicking. In fact, she's already pivoted toward what truly matters, preparing for her Australian Open title defense. Unlike Anisimova, Keys will compete at the Adelaide International, where she enters as the second seed. Adelaide offers fast courts, strong competition, and ideal preparation for Melbourne, exactly the conditions Keys thrives in. If history tells us anything, it's that Madison Keys is at her most dangerous when expectations are quiet and pressure is high. Don't be surprised if her ranking dip becomes irrelevant very soon. Belinda Bencic's return to the top 10, A masterclass in consistency. Now let's talk about one of the most impressive stories of the week. Belinda Bencic is officially back in the WTA top 10. This isn't hype. This is pure results. The Swiss star was nothing short of sensational at the 2026 United Cup, where she emerged as Switzerland's most valuable player. Bencic didn't just win matches, she dominated them. She went undefeated in singles and was flawless in mixed doubles, winning all 4 of her pairings. Even more impressively, she took down players ranked above her, including Iga Swiatek and Jasmine Paolini. Those wins weren't flukes. They were calculated, composed, and ruthless. Bencic's game, built on timing, precision, and mental clarity, is perfectly suited for fast hard courts. Her return to the top 10 feels like a natural correction rather than a surprise surge. And heading into the Australian Open, she suddenly looks like one of the most dangerous dark horses in the draw. Marta Kostuk, the rise no one can ignore. If there's one player who's forcing everyone to pay attention, it's Marta Kostuk. The Ukrainian has started the season on absolute fire, producing one of the most impressive early-year runs on tour. At the Brisbane International, Kostuk defeated 3 top 10 players en route to a runner-up finish, a statement performance by any standard. Her victory over Amanda Anisimova was just one chapter in a much larger story. As a result, Kostuk jumped 6 places in the rankings and now sits comfortably inside the top 20. Even more eye-opening? She is now less than 500 points behind Emma Navarro, who holds the 15th spot. Momentum in tennis is everything, and right now, Kostuk has it. If she continues this trajectory, a top 10 breakthrough in 2026 doesn't feel like a question of if, but when. Special mention, Wang Xinyu's silent surge. While headlines often focus on the biggest names, Wang Xinyu quietly delivered one of the most impressive ranking climbs of the week. The Chinese star surged 14 places, moving from outside the top 55 to world number 43, following her runner-up finish at the ASB Classic in Auckland. Though she fell to Alina Svitolina in the final, Xinyu's run was clinical, composed, and confidence-boosting. This jump places her ahead of experienced names like Tatiana Maria, Serena Cersti, and Jessica Buzas Monero, no small achievement. Next up, she's scheduled to compete at the Hobart International, where she'll open against Talia Gibson. If her current form holds, another rankings leap could be right around the corner. What this means heading into Australian Open 2026. So what does all of this tell us? First, the WTA Tour is deeper than ever. Coco Gauff reclaiming the top 3 signals stability at the top, but the chasing pack is stronger, more confident, and more dangerous than in recent years. Belinda Bencic's return reminds us that experience still matters. Marta Kostuk's rise proves that youth is fearless. And players like Wang Xinyu show that breakthroughs don't always come with hype. Sometimes they come with quiet persistence. Heading into Melbourne, there are no guarantees. And that's exactly what makes this season so exciting. Final thoughts: if these early season ranking shifts are any indication, the Australian Open 2026 could deliver one of the most unpredictable women's draws in years. No clear favorite. No easy matches. No room for complacency. Every ranking move we discussed today carries real consequences, and the next few weeks will determine who's peaking at the perfect time. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the WTA ranking shakeup, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss our Australian Open coverage. This is TennisIQ, where tennis gets smarter. See you in the next one.